Hey everyone, so I just finished filming my reaction and I had a little bit of a wardrobe change. But yeah, I'm sitting on my floor and I have my light on me. The light always like really washes me out. It makes me like a lot whiter than I really am. I'm a tan kind of skin tone and it's like making me look really like white. Anyways, let us just get started with the review. Alright, season 2, episode 2 of Shadowhunters. So I really love this episode. I felt like it was a good start to like the craziness that is to come. And this episode, it was like starting more of the like the storyline, like especially by the end with that cliffhanger. I'm sorry, I read my notes on my actual computer and I also film myself on my computer. So if I'm like staring kind of off to the side, I'm looking at the notes that I wrote. I'm also blind. So okay, so we start off where we left off and Jace still hates Valentine. Which is cool. Like, he's still giving him dirty looks. He's still being like, no, you're not gonna manipulate me and do all that crazy stuff. So I was like, good job, Jace. And then Clary and Jocelyn have their fight that we got in the sneak peek last week. They have it out, and then there's an extension of that scene that I really loved. And when Jocelyn was like, "Your brother isn't who you think he is," and then Claire's like, "What are you talking about?" And so she's like, "Well, let me show you." And so I really love this part. So Jocelyn shows Clary Jonathan when he was a baby. And so in this clip, Jocelyn has little baby Jonathan in her arms. And she's like, "We're gonna go pick some flowers." And Jonathan's like, "That's not gonna happen today, Mom." Little baby evil Jonathan, he like his eyes go black and he like looks like the devil and it looks like a demon. And then like he starts withering the flower and it was creepy. And I loved it. And so I really love how they're already including so much about Jonathan because when he does come on the show, it's going to be super duper dramatic because if he's already like got black eyes and withering flowers, all that is good in the world as a baby, like as a drooling newborn looking thing, imagine as an adult. Evil, evil, evil alert, evil alert. And also Sebastian is like he's a couple years older than Clary, if I remember correctly. So if they already raised the age of Clary, she's like 18, almost 19. He's gonna be like 20, almost 21, so like about Alex's age. So like an even older evil person. That's gonna be super interesting. I am so excited. This guy is so evil, but he's like I don't just his character is crazy, fascinating, and interesting. I remember actually like I don't even remember if I hated reading about him in the books because of how much drama and like misery he caused everybody. But like I am so excited for him in the show because I feel like the writers and everybody are going to like do such good things with his evil character, and I'm just excited. Clary like runs off and Simon follows her, of course, and it was so funny when he's like something about your mom telling me not to get that champagne enema tattoo, and I'm like, sweetheart, what exactly of that were you gonna get and where are you gonna put that? Just a quick side note. And just Simon, I love the amount of Simon that we got in this episode. He was in like a good half of the episode, and Simon is one of my favorite characters in the book and definitely in the show. Alberto Rosende brings him to life so well, and I'm so happy about all that. And then right after that was the whole Clary and Alex scene, and I remember watching that in the sneak peek last week, and that was just so sad because like they're both hurting and they're both hurting about the same thing, but they're like not being super friendly, and it's like you guys are hurting for the same reasons. And I know Alec has reason to think like everybody in this show has good reason for their actions and for their decisions. It's just that these actions like collide with each other, and then that causes even more conflict. And then Izzy comes in, and she's seriously like my favorite character on this show, especially right now. I don't know if that'll change in the future, but right now I love her. She's so understanding of everybody's situation. She doesn't try and get in the way. She does nothing but help, and she just, like I said, she understands everybody's decisions because of what they're dealing with. And so she's on Alex's side, and she's also on Clary's side, and she's just trying to just keep the peace as much as she can despite whatever it is that she's going through, and that's so selfless, and I love her for that. They decide to like for sure keep Clary out of anything that has to do with Jace. I have a little alfalfa hair coming out right here. And you know what? I actually really like this because in a lot of like shows, movies, books, especially YA, it's like and especially Clary, she even did this in the books. Like she would get involved with things that like she didn't really need to per se. She would kind of mess things up even though she was really trying to help. And I've always been kind of irritated with characters like that because it's like, no, it's like you're just trying to I moved my bed. But it's like you're I know you mean well, like, sweetheart, I get it, but you're kind of messing things up. So if you could just, like, let the professionals do things, like, that'd be good. So I really like that the writers actually made her stay home, and they made her stay in the institute and kept her out of it, because she's gonna have her time to shine. She's definitely, like, she's capable, and she's gonna learn, and she's a great shadow hunter, and she'll become an even greater shadow hunter. But it's like, I don't think she's quite at that point yet. Like, she's gonna get there, and I know everything in season 1 happened, but she's still learning. And so I'm glad that they kept her home, and they actually didn't, like, have her sneak out again and, like, go and mess something up, because she ends up leaving later, but then that ends up, like, benefiting. So I'm glad that benefiting the whole situation. So I'm glad that they kept her home now, so that she can, like, do something better later. And so poor Izzy comes in before, like, her and Alec go out, and she, like, is just giving her a pep talk, and Claire's like, I wish I had my normal life again, da 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 da. And so Jocelyn, Izzy is just being super supportive, and is like, you are a great shadow hunter. And I was just like, yes, Izzy, yes, everybody find you a friend like Izzy. After that, Luke back at it again. I need to stop with that. What is wrong with me? That is over and done with. Okay, yeah, Luke is back with his police work. He's with his partner, who's also part of his pack, and he's, like, getting down to business, and it's great. I love Luke. And then Simon is back at the Jade Wolf, and he's getting bullied by all of these wolves, and it's just like, he hasn't done anything to you. Leave him alone. Like, he's new. He's a fledgling. New, that's the term for the new vampires, right? Like, just leave him alone. And then Simon goes into that little the boat house, whatever, where they kept the boats, and Raphael shows up. And so Raphael, I love Raphael, and I desperately need a scene with him and Magnus together. Like, if we could make this happen, that'd be awesome. And so he's basically telling Simon, like, yeah, you need to find Camille, because you said things that got us in trouble, and we need her back, so figure that out. Simon's like, yeah, sure, let me just do that for you. Simon needs to go and find Camille, and I'm super excited. Okay, I wrote a post on Tumblr long, I don't even know how long ago, but it was something along the lines of, like, how I like Camille as a character. Like, she's not a good person in regards to, like, morale and everything, and she's not good for our character. She causes conflict that's not necessary. She's just not great for the storyline for our characters. But I kept thinking, like, if we had a story that just focused on Camille, and, like, the other characters didn't really exist, or she didn't really interact with them, and we, like, got to see her backstory and got to see the reasoning behind her decisions and her actions, like, wouldn't we, like, totally, I know I would, like, totally love Camille. I bet she'd be so cool. And I still think she's so cool. It's just that she's just kind of not great for our characters that we love even more than her right now. I don't know. I just really think Camille's a really interesting character. She's been alive as long as Magnus. She's gone through as many things as Magnus has, probably even more. We don't know. She's, like, the head of the I know Magnus is the head warlock of New York, but she is, like, kind of the head vampire, and so I'm sure there's, like, a whole bunch of politics and whatever with the vampires, and, like, other things that she's not involved with, and, like, I don't know, I bet she's had a fascinating life. Yeah, so eventually Clary does get out of the institute, but not to do anything. She just wants to get out. She goes to the art studio. She starts drawing. She, like, basically kind of goes back to what her life used to be and what would have been if she hadn't gotten into all this. And then Luke and Jocelyn come and try and talk her back home, and luckily Jocelyn brings Luke. And then, oh my god, before that, there's the Lucilin scene, and I just love them so much. I love that in the show, Luke was kind of angry at Jocelyn. Like, she hid things from him too, and he's like, I am the last person that you should be not telling the whole truth to, because, like, come on now. So, like, she knows this, and she's like, I don't want to lose you. It's like, Jocelyn, he's not gonna leave you. Come on now. And so he, like, gives her a hug, and it's just great. And I love them, and it's great. But then after that, there's that scene with, like, that Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club, don't. As he starts fighting that dude. That was an awesome scene. I love that. She did that in heels. I was like, yes, get it. And then Alec just steps back and is like, yeah, that's my sister. She's gonna kick your booty. Watch. And then a scene after that is Magnus and Simon. They portal to India. Leg is kind of falling asleep. Okay, wake up. And so Magnus portals himself and Simon to India, and there's just, like, the Taj Mahal in the background there. I was like, huh, we're in India. And it's so funny because one of my best friends, she is Indian, and she just got back from being in India for like a month with her family, and so that was just funny. Yeah, I just got up, but look at, she got me this turtle. This is from India, and so she got me this as like a souvenir thing from over there. So I love it. I have it up there in my little thing. It's great. So yeah, they're in India and they're in Camille's home, and Magnus knows how to get in there. I wonder like if he has a key or something, because I'm sure Camille wouldn't just leave that place open. So like, how did he get in there? Like, I know warlock magic, but I'm sure she had like wards or something. I don't know. And so Magnus is like teaching Simon how he's like man up, and like, you know, teaching him how to be a man or like how to be a vampire. And I love it so much. Yo, okay, so guess who's back and alive and, well, not well, but Dot. So if you've been watching my reviews since the beginning, I knew that she wasn't dead. I knew this from the very beginning. I watched too many seasons of Supernatural. If I don't see a body, then they are not dead. And so she's alive, but she, Valentine has been experimenting on her, which sucks. She has like all these like vein kind of things coming out of her, and she just doesn't look good, and she's scared of Valentine. She's scared of like the future of the war that is most likely going to break out. So I was so happy that she was back, because I really loved the change that they made to her character to make her a little bit younger and like an older sister to Clary. I love that, because Clary technically has a sibling. But in fear of spoilers, I'm not going to continue that sentence. If you read the books, I think you know what I mean in regards to like the closeness that does not exist between those siblings. So they killed her off in the first season. I didn't believe that she was dead. She's obviously not dead. And so I really hope that they don't kill her off again. And if they do, then I hope it's like for a really good reason. Because I don't like character deaths as much as the next person. I don't get as offended as some people might. But I really like it more, like, if a character dies, then there needs to be a really good reason, because then that's just kind of bad writing. Like, if you kill a character off for, like, shock, that effect, like, I'd much prefer that they die as a sacrifice. We go back to India with Simon and Magnus on the boat, in Camille's house, the boat. And all of a sudden that snake appears out of nowhere and starts attacking Simon, and so he starts freaking out. I mean, of course. And again, with the incanto, I was like, Simon. And then it actually works. Like, it actually ends up working. He does the incanto, and it works at the end. Like, he's able to like get the snake to back off. And not to mention that this snake was like dragon snake. It was like breathing fire, so it was cool, because then Magnus like portals into that room, and then he's like, oh, there you are, and then he's like, oh, my little baby, he's like cooing to the snake. I'm like, what is this? It was just funny. He's like, oh yeah, then I made that snake or whatever. And so he gives Simon's like, oh yeah, I did an incanto and I was able to like get it away or whatever. Just the look that Magnus gave Simon, he was like a really an approving look, and I was like, oh, I am here for this relationship. Alright, so next scene is Luke with Jocelyn again. They're back at the Jade Wolf, and Luke has that stone thing. It was like I don't know if I like caught the whole gist of it, but it's like some kind of Parabati thing, and it's like to track your Parabati. And so thinking about it for a second, I was like, why does Luke have that, and why is it so put away? Because we know that the status of Luke and Valentine's Parabati relationship. I'm pretty sure they said that in the show. If they haven't, oops. But I think Luke still really cares for Valentine despite everything he is. I don't think Jocelyn cares for him like at all anymore. She just wants him gone. I think Luke, doesn't condemn everything. Obviously, doesn't condemn anything that Valentine has done, but that's still his Parabati, and there's just a glimmer of like hope to bring him back. I feel like he would take that, just because that is his Parabati, and that's not just because it's like you're not talking or you're not close to your Parabati like they are. I don't think that he would just completely disregard him. I want a scene between Luke and Valentine this season. I would love to see a some kind of interaction between the two of them, just to see like where they kind of stand with each other, because Valentine is basically like the Hitler of the Shadow World at the moment, and Luke, like, obviously wants nothing to do with that, but that's still his Parabati. I don't know what he feels about that, so I would love to see something like that. Anyway, so this Parabati rock or whatever, Jocelyn takes it to Alec, and it's like, hey, this is a thing, might get you to Jace. And so Izzy's like, hey, hold up a second, what is that? And so Jocelyn's like, yeah, that might get you to Jace, but it's like, it's not super safe. And so he's like, no. And Alec's like, yes. And they're like, no, yes, yes. And then Alec wins. And so naturally, like, Alec is laying there and he takes it and then he starts sensing something and then he looks like he's in pain, which not necessary for my life. No, thank you. At some point, Dot portals herself and Clary onto the ship and then she does like that mind, whatever she does to her. And then Clary's on the ship. She goes out to Jace. Jace, you know, being tricked once before, he thinks that it's Valentine, and so he like grabs her, and then she's like, "Nah, dude, it's me, like it's the real Clary." And then eventually, Dot helps them escape. They bring that werewolf onto the ship, and then Jace is like kind of interrogating her, and then Clary comes up and was like, "Jace, like, it was whatever I told you wasn't real, like we can escape right now, like run right now." And so eventually they do escape with the help of Dot, which was awesome. So like episode 2, he's already out of there. Yes. And then they killed that werewolf, that girl that was like being kind of rude to Simon. She was a bully a little bit, but like there was no need for that. Like there was just no need. There was no need. She was another example of like the senseless killing of Valentine, and how Valentine uses people's hate to kill and to get rid of downworlders who he doesn't believe should exist. It showed more of how how Valentine was using Jeremy, and how Jeremy was saying like, oh yeah, that she killed my father. Like we don't even know that for sure. He just said like a white wolf and she had white hair, and so he's like, yeah, that you killed him, and you know you're gonna die because you killed my father. And so Valentine's like, yeah, like she's the one, like kill her. And so it just showed you like more of his manipulation towards other people besides Jace, and it's interesting. And so yeah, Dot, she doesn't go into the portal with them, and she gets taken, and Valentine's like, take her back down, and I'm sure he's gonna like do worse things to her now. And so like I said before, I hope that she doesn't die, but I also hope that the writers don't somehow incorporate her into the story to where like Valentine uses her against everybody. That would suck, because I really like I said, I really like her character, so I'm yeah. And also, we saw little glimpses of like baby Jalek in the little things when Alec was like holding the stone. So I thought that was gonna be in this episode. Apparently not. It's gonna be in like in the next or the following episode. I'm not sure, but I'm so excited to see Alec and Jace as little children, and then like the whole Parabati ceremony, and just I'm so excited. And also, just like as a quick side note, I'm really interested in the special effects, because remember when Alec was laying down, like the blood starts spurting out of his nose? Like, I wonder how they did that, because it looks like he blew it and it like came out. And so like, I wonder, I'm just curious how they did that. But yeah, that's where it ends. Like, that's happening. Alec looks like he's in pain. Jace and Clary jump off the ship, and that's where it ends with the cliffhanger. And like, I hate cliffhangers, but I love cliffhangers, because it's like, yes, keep me intrigued, keep me coming back for more. And so I'm just even more excited to see what happens in the next episode. And so that's it for like the episode. Again, really loved the episode. I was looking on Instagram, and apparently they're going to have a casting announcement tomorrow. I feel like, I don't think it's going to be Sebastian yet, because I feel like he would be the last one to be announced. So it's either, I saw somebody say Aline or the Sealy Queen. I'm really curious to see who they're going to pick for the Sealy Queen, like more than like Sebastian especially, but like the Sealy Queen, I'm really curious to see who they're going to pick for that, and I'm so excited to actually see her, because it's just going to be so interesting and visually pleasing to like look at her. I have another note here. Do you remember a promo back, I don't even know when back, where Jace is hugging Alec? And so I think that scene, if I remember correctly, is going to be like in the next episode, where Jace portals back in and Alec is on the bed and he's, you know, kind of unconscious, and so Jace goes to him, and that's gonna be that scene, maybe? I'm not sure, but I not ready for the Parabati feels, not ready for all that love, just no. But yeah, that was the end of episode 2. Excited for next week, as per usual. Oh, I think there's actually a couple things that I can react to. Hold up, there's a couple things. So here is Shadowhunters 203 Parabati Lost promo. Not ready at all. Okay, let's see. Monday. Maya!
I know the rules. Blood for blood.
You gonna be in the next
Clay
episode?
can be reasoned with. The wolves can't.
The wolves can't be reasoned with? Dude, you're
All
like...
the Cheer has people tracking him 24/7.
Getting to him before they do could prove difficult.
If he and Alec are going through the same thing, he could be...
Agnes.
Whatever we do, we need to do it quickly.
Shadowhunters, all new Monday, 8 So
Oh my god, you know what's gonna suck? Actually, if Jace does come back and he sees Alec unconscious because of the fact that he was trying to find him, imagine how bad Jace is gonna feel. I'm not ready for more self-hatred on his part. Don't, just no. But yeah, so there's one more, I mean, there's only one sneak peek out for now, so let's just watch this one. It's Shadowhunters 203, sneak peek number 1, Magnus calls out Jocelyn.
Clary's back.
Oh, great. Clary's safe. We can all go home now.
Oh, wait,
Aw.
Magnus. How's Alec? Is he gonna be okay?
I know she cares, but
Do you remember the first thing I said to you when you brought a frightened 6-year-old girl to my door?
You didn't want to get involved in Shadowhunter business.
And I should have stuck to my guns. But no. I let you convince me.
but if you did,
How many years
you
of memory
wouldn't have
wipes
met,
was it?
like, the love of your life.
12. Look, I owe you. Let me help with Alec.
I think you've done enough.
I was only trying to find...
You're only trying to do what you always do. Manipulate people into helping fix problems that you created. And now Alec is paying the price for it.
That's not true.
Then prove me wrong.
Oh, okay, so, like, I understand that everybody's mad at Jocelyn, but, like, I feel so bad for her. Like, none of this was her fault. Like, she didn't ask to get experimented on, to leave, to do this, for all of these events to take place. Like, none of this is her fault. Like, come on, you can't really blame her for trying to find her daughter and everything. Like, I feel bad for Jocelyn. And, like, even Clary's, like, mad at her, and that's, like, Clary's the reason, she's not the reason for everything, but, like, that's Jocelyn's reason for everything. I just feel bad for her. But yeah, so those are 2 reactions for next week. I'm sure they're gonna put more up soon. Depending on who is casted tomorrow, I might do another video. Don't hold me to that. I also need to do my Tales from Shadowhunters Academy review either tomorrow or Friday. And yeah, so I think that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave any and all comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next episode. Yeah, in my next video. Bye.